Welcome to another edition of the Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Simon Giannini, and this is the webcast for the week of April 18th, 2012. First up, our discussion about real estate in the news. A couple of different headlines. First of all, I want to talk about a recent headline in the Globe and Mail, an interesting article. The headline reads, "Market Turmoil in Housing Hotspots." Now, if you actually read the article, and research shows that most people don't even read the articles, they just skim through headlines, you get the impression that there's turmoil in our housing market. Well, what they're talking about is, of course, the Toronto market going up 10%, and the Vancouver market actually going down in average price by 3%. We won't get into it in a lot of detail, but if you had to actually read the article's fairly positive, but the headline is negative. And I think it just speaks to maybe a different agenda that different publications have. Another article published by Treb, GTA Realtors introduced the MLS Home Price Index. Now, we've been talking about the Home Price Index for a long time, and it's a more fair way to analyze prices and values rather than the average price. And the average is usually based on the aggregate. So, if, for example, higher-priced homes start selling less frequently, then it actually drops the average price as we're seeing in Vancouver. It doesn't mean that values are actually going down or up. It's just an indication of what sector of the market. So the Home Price Index is different in that it actually looks at what's sold, and it bases it on different neighborhoods, different property types, and it gives you a more specific and more concise, I think, read into what's going on to local markets. So that's invaluable, and something I think that people are going to thank us for later. A couple of reports about what's going on in the U.S. market. And first of all, RioCan chief says half of acquisitions this year will be in the U.S. And RioCan is a Canadian property owner and developer, so that indicates their confidence in the U.S. market. And ditto with the Canada Pension Plan investing almost $2 billion in U.S. real estate, reported by the Canadian press. So all things positive in the Canadian market, all things, again, very positive outlook for what's going on in the U.S. market as well. Mortgage matters. Well, sponsored by Dominion Lending, of course, and rates haven't really moved all that much. We're still seeing fixed 5 years close to 3%, and fixed 10-year not far off at 3.84. So I think for all those people that are, might be concerned over the long term that rates might go up, I would say for those nervous Nellies, lock in a 10-year rate at 3.84. We've never seen a 10-year rate this low. And, of course, the variable still under 3 points at 2.75. What you're seeing here is what I would call the best discounted street rates, which will be different than what the banks are going to advertise. They'll advertise what's called posted rates, which are dramatically higher. But these are the rates that we can get someone with a job and good credit and a down payment and all those things. Of course, if you're looking at commercial or investment properties, the rates are slightly different. The criteria is different. But if you're in the market to either get pre-approved because you're anticipating a purchase or you're looking at refinancing, I strongly suggest you give us a call. We'll connect you with Nima and his team at Dominion Lending Centers. They've always done a fantastic job for our clients, and we couldn't recommend them enough. Again, any information on the financing side, our number's on the screen. You can call it 366-9090 or email us. Next up, let's look at what's going on in the GTA real estate market. Now, again, these are aggregate numbers for the GTA as a whole. What you want to look at here is the blue line because, of course, it only shows figures up to March. And the rest of the years kind of give you an idea. This is showing active listings. Now, we still have, as you can tell, a record low, almost a record low number of listings for this time of year. And, of course, it changes. You can see it jumps up, typically jumps up dramatically in the spring and again in the fall. So the number of listings is increasing, but we have almost a record low. We're sitting at around 17,000 listings, which in previous years we were sitting at 20, 25, and even up to 30,000 listings. So, historically low number of listings, and that's, I think, part of what's driving demand right now. The average price, again, coming up, and of course, year after year increasing, of course. A bit of a jump in the first quarter, and now seems to be flattening out. I think more as an indication, not that prices aren't increasing, as much as the lower priced homes in the sector are selling faster right now than the higher priced homes and executive or luxury homes. And very interesting statistic, days on market, at the beginning of the year, well over 30 days. Now we're sitting close to 20 days. So homes are selling quickly. But I want to also remind, if you're a seller and you're thinking about selling, This does not mean you can sell anything at any price in 20 days, because even in this market, half of listings are selling and half are still staying on the market if they're overpriced or if they're in the wrong location or wrong condition. So it doesn't mean that anything and everything is selling, but those homes that are priced correctly for the market are selling in, on average, 20 days. And all signs obviously fairly positive at this stage. Let's talk a little bit about the condo market stats because a lot of activity, of course, now. Condo sales in the city of Toronto representing over 50%. Record high sales, record high volume, prices are up 8%. And interesting statistic I really want you to focus on is that the supply is a near record low of 5.5 months. What does that mean? Well, for all those people that are wondering about, is there a glut of condos because you see cranes everywhere? Well, the fact is they've all been pre-sold. In fact, 95% of them are pre-sold. And if you look at the number of sales that are happening on a monthly basis, and you look at the total number of condos available for sale, what 5.5 months means, it would take 5.5 months for all of the condos on the market today to sell. In other words, there are a lot of buyers out there. And for anybody wondering about the status of condos as an investment, well, we have bidding wars now commonplace for prime rental condos anywhere in the core, downtown, midtown, uptown, anywhere along the subway lines, Bloor West, East West, and yes, even in the 905s. 905s, obviously, because there's less available, and still very strong demand. So very, very good time to be in the condo market, and no change really in sight. And of course, we'll keep you posted as we see developments. And we also now want to talk a little bit about our picks of the week. This is a very unique opportunity. There's only 8 suites left, but this is actually a converted church in Bloor West. What you're seeing is the photo of the actual architectural detail. So it's a historic property, so obviously they have to keep all the architectural detail. And here you have a unique situation with only a dozen units. And what you'll see here is actual finishes in the interior, incorporating again, architectural details from the original church structure. Here's a photo of a sample second story, which is where the bedroom area is. Incredible finishes, incredible character. And what's interesting about this one is that every single suite is different. It's not like a high-rise condo project where they're boilerplate. We have suites available ranging from 1,100 square feet, 1,136, all the way up to a 3-bedroom and den with 1,986 square feet. So very generous sizes. I wouldn't say that the larger one would be a good investment opportunity. That's probably more for an end user, somebody that really likes that kind of space, wants to buy for themselves. But if you're interested in it as an investment potentially, then of course I'd suggest you consider 1,100 or 1,200 square feet right on the subway line on Bloor West. Very unique opportunity, and we've always seen a lot of lift in values for this type of loft conversion or church conversion. So if you're interested in that, call us right away. I think these ones will sell fairly quickly. Next up, we have, from downtown up into Muskoka this time of year, of course, a lot of people thinking about the warmer weather and vacationing and so on. Here's a very unique opportunity. The builder is Evanco. Now, if you've been following our show and following media, Evanco was the developer of the condo hotel and the condos on Lake Muskoka in Gravenhurst. This is a low-rise development that they have right on the water in Gravenhurst. And here we have an opportunity for these are brand new homes. All of them are ravine lots in this little pocket that we're talking about. There's only a few in this one little pocket, and on both sides of the street they actually have ravines. So the basements walk out. You can choose your layout completely from wall to wall. Whatever it is you want, you can customize. And it starts at only $299. Now, this could be an opportunity for investors because there is a strong demand for rentals in the area. But, of course, as well, it's also for somebody that's thinking about moving up north, either retiring or a full-time home away from home kind of thing. They're not waterfront homes, but the development is a walk to Lake Muskoka. So you're close to the lake, but you're also close to everything else, all the shopping and stores and everything from Home Depot to Canadian Tire to the restaurants in the area. But it is a beautiful setting up on a ridge with views and wildlife. It really is tranquil. If you're interested in this or know somebody that is, let us know right away. We've got people on site that are available to give you a tour, show you the site, show you the layouts, and so on. And last but not least, from going north to going south, a lot of buzz in the news about the recovery of the U.S. market these days. So we're organizing a tour to Phoenix, Arizona to really have a look at what's available. And essentially what we have as an opportunity is turnkey, renovated, rented income properties. And this is a chance for you, maybe play a little bit, but also do some work. And by work, I mean analyze the investment. We've got all the entire structure is laid out for us in the sense that we have the property managers on the ground. We have the attorneys and the accountants that will show you how to structure the purchase, how to manage it from a banking and a tax standpoint. And we're scheduled to go down on May 17th to the 20th on the weekend. You have to let us know well in advance because we're organizing a tour where we'll literally take you to the courthouse steps and you can see a live real estate auction happen on the spot, as well as looking at actual homes that are available for sale. Again, turnkey income properties, tenanted, cash flowing properties. Hell of an opportunity. If you know anyone that's seriously considering investing in the U.S. market, this is a trip you do not want to miss. And again, let us know. We've also put together an interview webinar. And if you check the email that I sent you, there should be a link in there to the interview I did with Albert in New York, who's an advisory team with offices in both Phoenix and Toronto, and just really talking about the do's and don'ts of Canadians investing in the U.S. market. So check for that link in your email. I've also got a link in the email for the Bracebridge Lake Muskoka project I just mentioned earlier, and again, all the information in the email as well. And I want to also remind people that of course we work with a lot of investors both in the GTA and in the U.S., but 90% of the business that we do as a brokerage is helping people buy and sell. So if you're thinking about buying a home or condo for your principal residence for your own use, and if you haven't already gotten a copy, request a free copy of our 2012 Buyer's Guide. It's over 100 pages and tons of information, and we're constantly updating it with information on rebates that are available for first-time buyers, what you need to understand about condos, what you need to understand about the basics of investing. It's free. It's there for the asking, no obligation. And of course, if you are ready to buy, our team is really a collection of some of the best in the industry. We'd love the opportunity to speak with you about how we can help you buy. And as well, you also heard me talk about the fact that we have a lower inventory, lower number. That's it for now. In a nutshell, if you have any other question at all, or you know someone that does, we have the answers. Just give us a call, fire us an email. We're here to help. And that's it for this week's episode. For all things real estate, again, call now, 416-366-9090. And this has been the Real Estate Talk Show with Simon Giannini, giving you the inside scoop on all things real estate. Have an amazing day.